guys, and welcome to another day of Vlogmas. Today we are joined by a little co-host here. This is my dog Finn. He is our newest rescue acquisition, and he is a Jackapoo, so a poodle Jack Russell mix. And for whatever reason, he's being very clingy today. So he's gonna sit on my lap, and if you hear weird dog noises or see a little head bobbing around, that's what that is. The day this goes live, it should be December 21st, which means that it is officially winter, and that means it's time for a winter TBR. I did my first one of these seasonal TBRs this past fall, and while I wasn't like super great at sticking to the TBR, I found that it was really helpful to kind of pull books from my shelves that I really had been thinking about for a while, putting them on an actual list, and it just took a lot of stress out of like, what do I read next? So I thought I would continue to do these seasonal TBRs for now at least. I will definitely be making a 2017 goals or reading resolutions video like normal, but I think you will kind of start to get a general idea of what I'm thinking about in this TBR. I've got some fantasy, of course, because it's winter. I've got some classics, and I've got some mystery and nonfiction. So yeah, that pretty much will give you a good idea of what kinds of things I'm trying to read this year. Starting off with some classics, I'm not going to go into these too much because I did just do a whole video on classics I would like to get to this year, but I have on this specific TBR Little Women by Louisa May Alcott and The Tenant of Wildfield Hall by Anne Bronte. Little Women in particular, I'm always being told is the perfect Christmas read, so I hope to get to this one at the end of December, early January. For The Tenant of Wildfield Hall, I'm not really sure why I included this in a winter TBR. On the back it says an imprudent and bitterly unhappy marriage, and so for some reason when I think like of miserable people, I think of winter. So there you go. Moving on from classics, I would really like to get to The Buddha in the Attic by Julie Otsuka, and this, from what I understand, is about like Japanese picture brides who were brought over to the States in the early 1900s to basically marry men who would come here looking for work. It's really quite short, so I feel like this, I don't really have an excuse for not getting to this anymore, and I figure this will be a pretty quick read to knock off the TBR. Then normally when it comes to mystery or crime novels, I prefer to read those during the summer, but for whatever reason, I felt like adding these two to the TBR. First of all, we have J.K. Rowling's The Casual Vacancy. I mentioned this book in my recent Big Books video, and I honestly don't know anything about it. I know this was kind of the first non-Harry Potter adult fiction book that J.K. Rowling published, and I've honestly not heard anything bad about it, so I'm looking forward to getting back into her writing, even if it is a completely different genre and audience. Then this one sounds like it just totally has to be read during the winter, and that is The Following Sea by Marcel Jolly. This is published by Black Lawrence Press, and they were kind enough to send me this copy to review, so I would like to get to that for them as soon as possible. But I feel like this will be the perfect winter mystery, mainly because it is set in Alaska and centers around a murder. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, so basically what I'm getting from a blurb is that it's a mix of crime fiction and frontier fiction, and that sounds totally like something I'm into reading. I really got into reading nonfiction for the first time in 2016, so I would like to keep that trend going, and the first nonfiction book on this TBR is actually a memoir, and that is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances Mays. Actually, this one's probably better suited to being read during the summer, but I got it as part of the Blogging for Books program, and so I owe a review on this one as well. But I'm really excited to get into this. This inspired my like one and only favorite chick flick, the movie of the same title, so I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. Then this other nonfiction book I've actually had on my shelves since I started BookTube. This was one of my first BookTube inspired purchases, and that is How to Be a Woman by Caitlin Moran. Now, I've heard mixed things about this. Some people really love it, some people not so much, but I am interested to read it, and I feel like I need to get going on this because, like I said, it's been sitting on my shelves since I started this channel. And then of course you can't have a winter TBR without some fantasy. So first of all, I would like to finish the Chronicles of Narnia. I had read the first 4 books in this series previously when I was quite a bit younger, and I actually reread those in January of 2016. So this year I would like to finish off the series and get to the 3 books I have not read yet, which of course are The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. Then I would really love to get to The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien and edited by his son Christopher Tolkien. I've had this on my shelves since the end of high school when I first kind of rediscovered Middle Earth and fell back in love with it, and I've kind of been putting it off because I know that while Tolkien's writing is very spellbinding. Like, I love his world building so much. Sometimes his writing can take me a little bit of time to get through. Like, it's not modern fantasy by any means. So yes, another book I would absolutely love to knock off my TBR. And then finally, in the new year, I would really love to reread the Ranger's Apprentice series by John Flanagan. This is definitely my favorite middle grade series, fantasy or otherwise, and it is set in a fantasy world featuring these ranger figures that are kind of similar to the rangers in Tolkien's universe. I have read books 1 through 4 several times, and I would really like to read them through all the way and then continue on with the series and finally finish it off this year. But John Flanagan has also started to release kind of a prequel series where I believe he touches on more adventures that didn't make it into the original series. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving back into this world. Honestly, this is gonna sound bad and it's going to be very controversial, but I don't miss Harry Potter so much as I do this series. So I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I'm really excited to get back into this year. So those were all of the books on my winter TBR, and if you can't tell, I'm very excited about getting to all of them. In addition to trying to spread my reading out a little bit more broadly genre-wise, in 2017 I really do want to focus on knocking books off of my already owned TBR, so I think you'll see that a lot in upcoming videos. If you guys have read any of these books and you would like to leave me your thoughts down below, I of course always appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye! He's like, can I go back to sleep now? Oh, okay.